Have you ever caught yourself dwelling, pondering how you found yourself agreeing to something you initially resisted? Have you ever questioned why certain conversations leave you feeling disoriented, doubting your own thoughts? It's possible you're being subtly manipulated without even realizing it. In today's interconnected world, we're constantly engaging with different individuals, each with their own intentions and methods. While many of these interactions are benign or even beneficial, what happens when someone's intentions turn dark and their methods become manipulative? Today, we're delving into the intricate and often concealed world of manipulation. This isn't just another conversation, it's an unveiling, a journey towards comprehending the 10 most understated and potent forms of manipulation, and most importantly, how to shield yourself against them. Why is this understanding vital? Because we reside in an age where manipulation emanates not just from those around us, but also from larger, omnipresent structures like media and social networks. Acquiring knowledge of these techniques isn't merely an act of self-preservation. It's a stride towards enhanced autonomy and personal liberty. Today, I'll guide you through this maze, revealing how to identify and counter these tactics, from gaslighting, which distorts your reality, to emotional manipulation, which toys with your deepest sentiments. Together, we'll unravel these strategies, equipping you with the tools to retain your agency and make decisions that authentically reflect your desires and needs. Join me on this voyage of discovery and empowerment. If you're new here, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Surprisingly, only 3% of my audience is subscribed. So, if this content has benefited you in any way, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Form number 1. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is akin to an invisible chess match, where your emotions are the pieces and your mind the board. Picture strolling through an enchanted forest, each tree representing a different emotion: joy, fear, guilt. Each of these trees can be shaken by someone to upset your balance. It's crucial to grasp that emotional manipulation isn't always overt. Often, it's cloaked in concern, affection, or even a loaded silence. The manipulator is akin to a skilled illusionist, diverting your attention so you fail to see their true intentions. This process commences with innocuous actions or words that gradually entangle you in a web of uncertainties and anxieties. A common ploy is guilt. Picture a friend requesting a favor, one that makes you uncomfortable or is imprudent. Upon refusal, they respond with a disappointed sigh and a glance that speaks volumes. "I thought we were friends," they say, and suddenly you find yourself second-guessing your decision, feeling selfish for prioritizing your needs. Another subtle form of emotional manipulation is instilling fear. Someone might insinuate, without stating it explicitly, that dire consequences could ensue if you don't heed their advice or comply with their demands. It's akin to being in a dark room, with the manipulator serving as the sole source of light, rendering you reliant on their guidance and direction. So, how can you shield yourself against these tactics? The first step is self-awareness. Take the time to understand your emotions, to discern what brings you joy, sadness, anger, or fear. Like a gardener who knows every plant in their garden, you must be acquainted with every emotion that blooms within you. This forms the foundation for recognizing when someone attempts to manipulate them. The second step is establishing clear boundaries. This doesn't entail constructing an impenetrable fortress around yourself, but rather having doors that you can open or close at will. Learn to say no without succumbing to guilt, and acknowledge that you can't always please everyone. The third step is fostering balance in your relationships. A healthy relationship resembles a dance where both parties move in harmony and with mutual respect. If you feel like you're constantly dancing to someone else's tune, it's time to reassess that relationship. Lastly, never underestimate the potency of open communication. Confronting someone who emotionally manipulates you isn't effortless, but sometimes a straightforward, "I feel this way," or "I'm uncomfortable with that," can suffice to alter the dynamic. Emotional manipulation is a clandestine art, but with awareness, clear boundaries, balance, and communication, you can become adept at safeguarding your emotions. Remember, in the chess game of life, you are the sovereign of your own destiny. Form. Number 2. Beware of logical fallacies. Be vigilant of arguments that appear logical, but are founded on fallacies, such as personal attacks or sweeping generalizations. In the realm of discourse, logical fallacies resemble mirages in a desert. They seem to offer refuge and truth, but upon closer inspection, they vanish, leaving behind confusion and deceit. A logical fallacy occurs when the presented argument lacks a solid foundation. Though it may seem convincing initially, closer scrutiny reveals its shortcomings. One prevalent fallacy is the ad hominem attack, where instead of addressing the argument itself, the speaker attacks the person making it. For instance, envision a debate about climate change. Rather than engaging with the evidence presented, one side resorts to attacking the character of the scientist behind the research. "He's only in it for the money," they assert, or "he's not a legitimate scientist." By diverting attention from the argument to the individual presenting it, they aim to discredit the entire debate. Another fallacy to be wary of is the false dilemma, also known as black and white thinking. This occurs when someone presents only two options, disregarding the possibility of a middle ground or alternative solution. For example, consider a politician advocating for stricter immigration laws. They might argue, either we completely close our borders or we risk forfeiting our national identity. By framing the debate in such stark terms, they create the illusion of only two possible outcomes, ignoring more nuanced solutions. Lastly, be cautious of slippery slope arguments. This fallacy posits that one action will inevitably lead to a cascade of increasingly dire consequences. For instance, imagine a parent forbidding their child from attending a party. "If I allow you to go," they caution, "you'll start drinking, experimenting with drugs, and who knows what else." By exaggerating the potential repercussions of a single action, they seek to justify their decision and control their child's behavior. So, how can you defend yourself against logical fallacies? The first step is awareness. Train yourself to identify these deceptive arguments and don't hesitate to scrutinize them. The second step is critical thinking. Rather than accepting arguments at face value, take the time to dissect them, searching for any flaws or inconsistencies. The third step is education. Familiarize yourself with the various types of logical fallacies to enhance your ability to recognize them in the wild. Finally, be prepared to speak out. If you encounter a logical fallacy, don't shy away from challenging it, whether by pointing out the flaw in the argument or presenting a more reasoned alternative. By arming yourself with awareness, critical thinking, education, and courage, you can shield yourself against logical fallacies and navigate the intricate terrain of debate and discussion. Remember, in the pursuit of truth, logic is your staunchest ally.